bad evening. I'm Mr. Creepy, your host. Tonight's story is about a gentleman named Carl. Carl was terrified of elevators. Perhaps he should have taken steps to avoid them? I laid on the ground, exhausted, relieved to be alive. I had just narrowly escaped my demise from a falling elevator. We all did, actually. Less than a few moments later, a group of us, all strangers, suddenly found ourselves in a nightmare of a situation. The elevator we were all in, one of those really old-fashioned ones, suddenly stalled as we made our way up. None of us knew what caused it, but before we knew it, we could hear the hoisting ropes tearing as well as feel the elevator begin to lower. Everyone was screaming, panicking. It was pure pandemonium. We had no idea what to do. All we knew was that at any moment, the elevator could go crashing down the shaft, taking all of us along with it. While some continued to scream in terror, others tried their best to open the doors. But with every passing moment, we could hear and feel the hoisting ropes continue to tear. Just as we all thought we were goners, the doors suddenly opened, and without hesitation, everybody rushed out. But since the elevator had lowered a bit by that point, we found ourselves having to step up onto the floor in front of us. Much to my dismay, since I was just a tiny man and located at the back of the elevator, I found myself being last to exit. However, it was at that moment that the hoisting ropes finally gave way. Using as much strength and agility as I could, I dove forward into the quickly disappearing space in front of me. It happened so fast that all I could remember was people screaming and the unnerving sound of the elevator quickly falling down the shaft before it finally crashed to the bottom. As I rolled over, I opened my eyes shortly after. I was so relieved I had escaped in time. But as I was in the process of trying to gather myself, I felt one of the ladies from our group grab my hand. She had tears in her eyes. I also started to notice that the others in the group were either crying or hysterical for some reason. The next thing I hear is the lady doing her best to comfort me. I was confused, but it wasn't long before I found out why everybody seemed to be in pure distress. As I looked towards my body, I realized that everything from below my waist had been severed. I was bleeding out fast. I hadn't escaped the elevator in time after all. Before I slowly drifted into darkness, I was strangely comforted by the thought that at least my family was going to be able to have an open casket for my funeral.